Hey people, so Shaman here, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about somebody I've been working with for about almost 2 months. It was a guy that trying to quit drinking, quitting the drugs, and doing all this other stuff. And actually, it was his sister got me into this, and thinking it was a possession, which we can get into another one. But I do believe there are different spirits, consciousness that affect people under different addictive influences. Anyways, with this guy, and he got clean early. He quit drinking early from a series of events. One of them was after his sister had pretty much commanded what she believed to be this one spirit or whatever it was around him to leave the house, and so on. And he agreed with that, and he got better. And so this is a good example of what you call a simple banishment. Not quite an exorcism, but a simple banishment. And they can be very effective, and it seems so in this particular case. But the other part about it was he was going to get clean enough to where he would be able to go down to Costa Rica for one of these ayahuasca ceremonies and camps. And allegedly, this particular group had a strict protocol for making sure that people were clean, weren't doing any other substances. But also down there, and I don't want to give the name of this place yet because I still want to get more details. But down there, they did not want the participants of the ceremonies to be in contact with one another, especially physically. And I can see the importance of this. In deeper ceremonies, especially when there's controlled substances, drugs, peyote, a long list of things all the way down to ayahuasca, while they can be great healing tools and implementations, then the other part about it is it can really open up the soul or the auric field, whatever you want to call however you describe it. And it creates an opportunity for other entities in consciousness to go inside that person or make an attachment onto that person. And so it's kind of like, fleas. They'll just jump from one dog to another kind of a thing and looking for the perfect host. And instinctively or consciously, they know when to abandon one host and jump onto another one. And so it can come close enough by sitting close to each other, by interacting in massage, so it's energetic, a jump, and especially during sex. That's almost a 100% guarantee. It's no different than in having sex with someone with a communicable disease. It's the same thing. You have these communicable energy signatures, entities, consciousness, spirits, all of the above come in, and when you're in that kind of a ceremonial setting. I've even asked people who are experiencing these kind of symptoms if they have even visited a ceremonial site. Because sometimes those are like, train stations or bus stations or something. It's just like everything goes there to go find a new host. And sometimes just sitting at temple steps is enough to get one person polluted or contaminated or pick up a entity or attachment and so on. Why? Just again, it's the same way it happens in physics or in physiology. You can just be at that one location. Your resistance is a little bit low from whatever reason, and you pick something up. So this outstanding young man decided to break those rules by going around wanting to offer to rub people's feet, and then became lovers with this one girl that was down there, and came back from that ceremonial setting humble with the first day, and then almost immediately right after that became very verbal abusive, and it's believed he went back into the drinking and drugs. So basically he came back from the ayahuasca ceremonial setting worse than he was. And now some people that have battled or help people battle addiction, sometimes when people get clean for a little while, go back to it, it's like that addiction or dependency, chemical dependency, comes back with a vengeance. Well, if it's picked up an entity, that vengeance gets magnified, and it's a real problem. So now, they're having to pretty much kick him out of the house and send him on down his way. And I suggested to get him out of that immediate area so he doesn't get with other women and just pass this thing along. And again, using the same kind of example as you would get if you had a communicable disease, you want a lockdown, banishment, and so on. The reason I wanted to point this out is not necessarily that the ayahuasca itself is responsible for this. No, his actions. It's allegedly these people had the strict protocol. It's supposed to be a very expensive place to go down to. They don't want the bad reputation, so they have a. And I can tell you too, from running different ceremonial settings, you do have to be a military dictator on things, and just and no exceptions, because you're responsible for everything that happens to everyone there. It's your environment. You need to have control. If you don't have control, you can't guarantee good results, and you can't guarantee safety either. People need to follow these rules. I can pretty much imagine the hole in their security and protocol for something like that to be able to happen, as he did, and as he did with her. Now you go down there and you say, well, you can't control people like that. Well, if they want to get together, they can get together after they leave your site. Then you don't have anything for that. Were they supposed to chaperone everyone? Well, you can pretty much escort everybody into their little sleeping area. This is your ceremonial area, your safe space. Here's your contact for your person, your counselor, whatever, spirit guide, helper, person on the physical plane. Do not do these things. And they probably didn't even express why. Because I heard that he had some questions and they didn't give him an answer why. They just said, this is the way we do it. And again, if the concern is more commercially, you may not want to give the reasons of why, because it promotes fear, and then therefore that fear-based reaction won't get positive results out of your ceremonial setting. It's a delicate balance, and this is what you have to deal with if you're just being ayahuasca tourism or drug tourism in the pretense of spirituality. All that being said, I'll keep you guys updated on this. Yeah, I laugh about it because it's just so ridiculous sometimes. I had talked to him extensively, as a client, basically, as a patient. And he was making great progress, but I was also telling his family, like, I don't think this is a good idea. I just don't have a good feeling about this ceremony, this particular trip, and so on. But he was dead set on it. And I'll leave it at that, and I'll let you guys know. The point I guess I really want to make with this is these types of ceremonies and healings, they're an exact science. They're an exact application. You have to follow the instructions. You have to follow the rules. I mean, I did a video earlier about following instructions. And following instructions, sometimes do this and also don't do this. And then you don't need a full explanation on a lot of things. And like I explained with the whole fear-based responses, what do you mean we have spirits down here that can do that? Yeah, you got spirits at home that can do that. I went through a similar experience with someone at a lodge in Hungary years ago, and she went through an ayahuasca ceremony. I met her in 2015, and I think it was probably 2017, 18 when we did the lodge, and she had done it. So she did then her ceremony, I think it was 2020. And so that much time later, then after the sweat lodge we had, she said she basically watched the covers come up as something tried to crawl in bed with her after the sweat lodge. Was it the sweat lodge that did that? No, because that particular lodge was especially safe and really well. But when we're talking about interdimensional things, it really doesn't matter about the geographical location. And so it was basically a recap of some experiences she had when she had her ayahuasca ceremony many years before that. So, and again, because of getting with someone else after that, if people really understood the things that happens with sexual encounters on so many different levels, I would think that they'd be more particular with their partners and actions, but unfortunately, people can have the best training and the best information and still do just dumb shit. But anyway, I'll keep you guys updated on this stuff. And again, it's a great source of learning and valuable information. And the more the things that you see of these things, and more, or even the more that you hear about, the more you really do learn to guard your actions and have more of a virtue of complete thought. Catch you guys later.